Howdy all, let's get things started with the New York Islanders, the Florida Panthers. We'll close this first. And that's it. We're down to 21 teams. Just like that, Florida Panthers today just didn't quite have it. So I've paused my television. I've got the Nashville Arizona game on. I thought, you know what, it just started. I could pause it and I can catch up after I'm done this. So Bobrovsky early on looked good. He denied Broussard's early chance. We will have a lot of time to dissect exactly where things went wrong for Florida this year and how you fix it, because they threw a lot of money at their goaltender. And if I'm the owner of the Panthers and I'm looking at, wow, I lost a lot of money this year. I paid this guy how much? That's going to be an issue. Penalty then to Pulock. Panthers get a power play. Good. You've got early save from Bobrovsky. You've got a power play. Here we go. Varlamov denied Dadonov, as this game very often sounded like it was between two Russian teams when you're looking at who's stopping who. Good Panthers power play. Notice I said sounded because, of course, Barkov not being. So, yeah, I understand. Shots are 4-3 Panthers at 9 minutes. Beauvillier then had a chance that was stopped at the halfway mark, but Anthony Beauvillier continues what has been an amazing run for him. He scores from Bailey and Nelson at 11 minutes and 33 seconds. He banked it off Bobrovsky. This is not a goal that a goaltender should be allowing in a regular season game, much less a play-in game, playoff game, whatever you look at this as. And right there, if you're watching this, you're thinking, here we go again. This is the story. This is what happens with Florida. The Islanders then almost got another. Weegar actually stopped that one, and then it's Beauvillier from Barzal and Pulock at 15-10. And Matthew Barzal had a great game today. This was about the Islanders playing different. So right out of the gate, apparently what Barry Trotz had said about Game 3, where they lost 3-2, was that they were playing too much east-west. And he wanted north-south, straight up and down the ice. And clearly the players got that message, because there was a lot of north-south play, not a lot of east-west going on in this game. And I thought this could get ugly. The Islanders are taking over. Nelson almost made it 3-0 moments later, and you could tell the announcers wanted Bobrovsky to make big saves. You could tell that Boucher, down there in the glass, wanted to see Bobrovsky bounce back. That Boucher is a goaltender himself, and just the announcers wanted a story where Bobrovsky, maybe he gets some sort of redemption and forces a Game 5. He really couldn't allow another. Barzal was feeling it. Eberle guilty of a hook, so the Panthers go to a power play late. And Hoffman scores. He scores from Huberdeau and Barkov at 18:41 power play goal. And a question has to be asked, is this Hoffman's last game in Florida? Is this Dadonov's last game in Florida? Do you look at this result and say, just blow it up, let them both go and figure something else out? With 1:03 left, Weegar takes a penalty that gives the Islanders a power play. That was an oof moment, because they're down 2-1. They've got the momentum, and then you take a penalty right after that. So we go to the second period. Early saves by Bobrovsky were fantastic. I expect those to be on every highlight reel everywhere. I can't show you the highlights because I don't have the copyrights. So that's how that works. But they were fantastic. They were Dominic Hasek level saves, which makes it more baffling when you see one banked in off his foot by Beauvillier in the first period. It's like there's two different goalies there. Panthers penalty kill, I thought, could turn their momentum, but Varlamov froze things off of a dangerous chance by Barkov. And I thought Barkov had a decent game. Better period for the Panthers, I felt, in the first half to that stage. I thought the Panthers were playing better. Then the Panthers get a too-many men on the ice call. The Islanders get a power play, and they take advantage. It's Brock Nelson scoring from Bailey and Taves at 8:01. That made it 3-1, and at that stage, my brain said, all right, so throw on an Islanders jersey and maybe start the review now. I didn't, obviously, but my brain was telling me maybe just start it now, because the game's pretty much over. Barkov then had basically an empty net that was denied because Pulock's stick just comes in at the very last moment and knocks that off. And you could feel that if that goal goes in and it's 3-2, that, that maybe it'll be a confidence boost and maybe a momentum swing in favor of Florida. And then, both teams were definitely getting their chances, but the Panthers weren't getting any breaks out of them. And then during the commercial break, they showed that Varlamov went over and thanked Pulock. So Pulock may not have to worry about buying a meal for the next few days, because Varlamov may have that covered. Really, in all honesty, this was such a great team game. This Islanders team, much like Carolina, much like Calgary, the teams that are winning in these play-in rounds, just the overall team aspect, it is so much more than just one superstar or two good players. It's good goaltending. It's 4 lines, 6 defensemen, everybody pulling together. Where there's not like that one guy that you look at and go, he's a bum, but the rest of the team's pretty good. It seems to be that you have these teams that are coming together and playing really, really well. The Islanders had blocked more shots than the Panthers had on net by that stage of the game. That would change in the third, but still, really solid game. Nelson takes a penalty after the Panthers had pressed at with 5 minutes left. They weren't getting anything through though. But Nelson takes a penalty, and it felt like this was a needed power play for the Panthers. They'd already struck once. They needed to strike again. They don't. And then Weegar appeared to get hurt on a shot block. It looked like it was a knee potentially. He exited, but he would come back to start the third period. So Mackenzie Weegar sacrificing himself a bit on the play. There's a late penalty to the Panthers, and I put 20 minutes to go because I'm like, all right, so they're down by 2 going into the third period against a team coached by Barry Trotz. That's good night. So third period, Komarov with a hook. The Panthers get a power play. The Panthers were just held to the outside by the Islanders. And again, this is a storyline that's going on through a lot of these series. You hold them to the outside. You don't give them shots in the slot. Everybody knows their job. Everybody does well on their line. Every line's solid. Yeah. And the Islanders were waiting for turnovers. And there were some big turnovers allowed by Florida here as they got more and more desperate and had to cheat a bit. Varlamov denied Barkov again. Beauvillier then gets a fast break, which was turned aside. But just after the midway mark of the period, the Islanders get that dagger goal. Barzal scores from Eberle at 10 minutes and 34 seconds. So here's the Islanders 2-1. Islanders 4-2. Of course, they lost game 3, 3-2. Today, they weren't letting that happen. Almost perfect series by the Islanders. Outside of game 3, where they got pulled out of their game and Florida played their game better than they did. This was pretty much a perfect series. And all 4 lines really effective. Broussard's line, Cizikas' line, every line was really effective. Goalie gets pulled with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. Well, you know what's going to happen when you pull a goalie that early. Usually you're going to see the empty net goal. It's Pajot gets it from Komarov at 17-17. Komarov agitating the Florida Panthers. That's when Komarov's at his best, he's agitating the other team. And honestly, just really, really solid game by the Islanders. Cizikas then had a scary incident with his stick getting high and almost caught Noel Acciari in the eye, but it didn't. It was close enough that Acciari was clearly upset after, and you would be when you get a stick in the face and it's that close to your eyeball. Didn't, and so 2-minute power play, but it was already too late. They weren't going to score 4. So 5-1 win for the Islanders. They win the series in 4. They move on to the next round. They are now the second team in the East, joining Carolina, which means they can't play the top seed or the bottom seed in the conference. So they are waiting to see, and we're all waiting to see how things are going to shake down on the weekend involving the round robin. And then round 1 starts on Tuesday. So this again comes into the round robin games don't matter, so it's fine. It's fine. Round 1 starts on Tuesday. The Islanders are a machine. Calgary's a machine. Carolina. These teams are playing really, really well right now. Shots were 16-8 New York in the first, 15-6 New York in the second, and then 11-7 for Florida in the third. Final shots 38-25 in favor of the Islanders. They had control of this game until the third when it was out of reach. Hits were 40-28 for the Islanders. Power plays, the Islanders go 1 for 3. Florida goes 1 for 5. Varlamov saved 24 out of 25. He was great throughout this series. Really, really was. Varlamov has now earned himself that starter's job. Greiss, thanks for coming out, but Varlamov's been fantastic. Bobrovsky, 33 saves on 37 shots, and that's going to be the question. The question with Florida this summer is going to be, who do you bring back? Which of the expiring contracts do you bring back? What do you do with Ekblad? I have been a defender of Ekblad, but at this stage, do you look at Aaron Ekblad and say, okay, so he's how far out from his draft? Maybe we need to make big changes on the blue line, and maybe he's the guy. Do we look at Yandel? Like, there are some big questions, I think, about Florida, because when they signed players, and when they brought in Hoffman, when they signed Varlamov, the expectation was not this. The expectation was not that they would lose a play-in round against the Islanders. And they were not a team that was above the playoff line at the pause anyways. Which is interesting because all three teams that are out so far are ones that were below the playoff line at the pause. So in some way it's been good so far, but there's some results tonight that could change that. And this afternoon. But yeah, Florida's got a lot of questions to answer. There's just so much turmoil. And for the Islanders, they made it look easy today. They really did. This was a concerted effort by all four lines. Great top six blue line. Yeah, there really wasn't a flaw in this game. Hoffman gets the one goal in the power play. That's going to happen. Outside of that, this was a flawless game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.